Hi, hello.
Today, let's delve into the essence of software testing and its various aspects in Sicily. What exactly is testing? To me, testing can be defined as the quest for disparities between anticipated and actual outcomes. For instance, if a client expects certain types of coffee in an order, that's the anticipated outcome. The actual outcome is how it's implemented in our product, and the disparities indicate potential defects, which testers seek out diligently. In my view, the tester plays a pivotal role in any project within a large IT company. Let's discuss the key stages in the software development lifecycle, or SDLC. There are several models of such a lifecycle. The first stage is initiation. This is when a business realizes that its user has a genuine need for a product, one that will truly succeed. They gather data on what they want to present to the user, and an idea emerges. The second stage is development and requirement gathering. With this idea, they approach an IT company, and if there is an agreement that this product will be developed by them, business analysts step in and start gathering requirements. They communicate with the client, with the end user, and compile a set of requirements to be implemented in the final product. The third stage is design. Web designers are then engaged who, based on the requirements, create mock-ups or templates for the website our client wishes to see. If we're talking about a web application, the fourth stage is development. If the client approves the design, developers are brought in and development begins in earnest. The fifth stage is testing. Developers write code which is then passed on to testers for evaluation and testing. The sixth stage is implementation. After the product has been tested, it's handed over to the end user for implementation. The seventh stage is retirement. If the business realizes the product is no longer in demand or comes up with something new and disregards support for the old product, it's retired.
Now I will consider the types of testing by positivity and by levels. Let's start with testing for positivity. For this test, for a more comfortable and simpler example, I use a coffee with my favorite Sicilian cappuccino with pistachio and chocolate as a good example. I highly recommend you try this coffee, and here you will learn a little more about it. Let's start by positivity. Positivity testing involves executing scenarios that align with normal expected behaviors of the system. It helps determine whether the system performs the functions it was designed for. Verify that the cappuccino is prepared according to the recipe. Confirm the presence of pistachio sprinkles and chocolate on the cappuccino. Ensure the overall taste meets quality standards. Negative testing. Negative testing, on the other hand, involves scenarios that simulate exceptional behavior of the system, intentionally causing errors for which the system should provide error messages. Testing if the cappuccino is missing pistachio sprinkles or milk. Verify that the cappuccino isn't cold. Priority is given to positive testing, especially in time-constrained situations. So be focused on this. Next one, by levels. Unit testing. Unit testing, component model testing, as this type of testing is conducted by the developers of the software code. Unit testing specifically allows testing individual components of the source code of the program. In the example of an online coffee store, models such as the login page, coffee search, adding coffee to the cart, and other payments can be considered. Or, for example, we could verify the milk frozer produces the desired milk for process, such as ensuring the coffee machine dispenses the right amount of coffee, the milk foam is of the correct consistency, and the chocolate additive is integrated properly. One more example of testing by levels is system testing. It's conducted on the fully integrated system to check its compliance with the initial requirements. In the context of an online store, this would involve testing all models developed for the store to see how they work together. It assesses whether we can navigate through the entire business flow of the application, from registration to finding a product, placing it in the cart, paying for the order, and tracking the item during delivery. Essentially, it tests the entire application as a whole. Also, example, simulate a customer order, tracking the coffee preparation process and ensuring the final product with milk foam, pistachio sprinkles and chocolate is delivered correctly to the table. Description, conduct end-to-end testing of the entire coffee preparation system, from ordering to serving on the table, checking if all components work together seamlessly. Next one, integration testing. This involves testing a part of the system consisting of two or more models. For instance, we can test how payment can be made from the cart page using a payment system. Example, test the integration between the coffee brewing unit and the topping dispensers. Confirm that pistachio sprinkles and chocolate are added correctly. Also a description, Evaluate how different elements of the coffee preparation interact, ensuring that the milk foam, pistachio sprinkles, and chocolate additive harmoniously come together in the final cup. Also, there are two types of integration testing. Component integration testing examines how individual models of an application interact with each other. Next, system integration testing involves testing the interaction between all components of the system or the interaction between different systems or testing interfaces each system interact. Let's delve into interfaces in more detail. There are three types of interfaces. API, Application Programming Interface, a set of methods used to access the functionality of another program. For example, APIs are used to integrate payment system into resources like online store. CLI, Command Line Interface, where computer instructions are given by entering text strings via the keyboard, commonly seen as the command prompt in Windows. GUI, Graphical User Interface, where program functions are presented through the graphical elements on the screen, such as what we see in a browser window when opening a web page. And the last example of testing by level is acceptance testing. Acceptance testing, in discussing testing levels, it's essential to mention acceptance testing. Acceptance testing is a type of testing conducted at the stage of delivering the finished product or some ready parts of it to the customer. The goal of acceptance testing is to determine the readiness of the product, and this is achieved by running test scenarios and cases based on specifications and requirements for our product. Essentially, it's the final stage of product testing before release. Usually, only the main functionality, which doesn't require thorough checks, is tested. There are several types of acceptance testing. User acceptance testing, UAT, conducted by end users of the final product. For example, when we know our product is ready for release, we can gather a group of end users to test it and see if it meets expectations. They will provide feedback and we can fix any critical bugs before releasing the product. Operational testing, usually performed by users or administrators in an environment that simulates really working conditions. This stage checks backup testing, system recovery, and security. Contractual testing. This involves checking compliance with specification in a document or regulatory act. For example, in a country, there might be a standard that defines how our product should comply with a particular regulatory act, determining its key features. We must develop the product in full compliance with this regulatory act. One of the most well-known documents of this kind specifics requirements for the protections of user data. Failure to comply with these requirements during product development can lead to significant fines later on. Alpha testing, operational testing conducted by the developer but outside our company. Beta testing, conducted externally and without the participation of developers. Typically, beta testing involves a small group of users to gather feedback before the product is released to the market. This is a common practice for computer games. If you're a gaming enthusiast, you may be familiar with this testing method. The client selects a key group of users, releases a version of the product for them, and based on their feedback, critical bugs are fixed, or it's understood that the product meets their expectations and it can be released. And now let's see a description of acceptance testing, It says if the coffee with milk foam, pistachio sprinkles and chocolate meets customer expectations and coffee standards. Example, have coffee staff and possibly customers taste the coffee, providing feedback on taste, presentation, and overall satisfaction. That's all for today. I recommend you testing as a very interesting destination, as well as beautiful Palermo in Sicily, which I liked for its amazing coffee and views. 10 out of 10. But there are very few good places for digital nomads to sit with a laptop. I found 2 or 3 of them. A very noisy and quite dirty city, be prepared for this. But outside of Palermo, there are stunning views of the sea. Just breathe some water if you find yourself on siesta time. And which city to test next? Bye!